The marble floors of the Kensington mansion gleamed beneath the early afternoon light. But inside, the air was unusually still. Alexander Wren, the billionaire known for his ruthless business empire, wasn't supposed to be home for another 3 days. Yet there he stood, briefcase in hand, silence pressing against him like a wall. From the study at the end of the hall came a soft, melodic voice, low, calm, and full of patience. He frowned. His son Daniel was supposed to be napping, but that voice, that wasn't a cartoon, nor was it the tutor he paid thousands for each week. Before he could think further, Alexander pushed the door open and froze. There, seated on the floor beside a small wooden desk, was Grace, his housemaid, her dark skin glowing in the sunlight, her hand gently guiding Daniel's across a math worksheet. His son's eyes were bright, focused, and for once joyful. The billionaire's mouth went dry. Grace didn't notice him at first. She was explaining fractions using apples, her voice soft and encouraging. Daniel was laughing as numbers became stories and problems became games. Alexander had never seen his son this alive. Before I tell you what happened next, tell me in the comments where you're rewatching from. I love knowing who's listening. For a long, silent moment, he simply watched. The maid, the woman he'd barely exchanged 10 words with since hiring her, was teaching his son with more patience, love, and creativity than any of his high-priced tutors ever had. When she finally noticed him, her face went pale. She scrambled to her feet, heart pounding. "Mr. Wren, I didn't know you were home early, sir. I'm sorry, I was just—" He raised a hand, stopping her. His voice was quiet, but cold. "Just what, Grace? It's entertaining my son? Or replacing his teachers?" The weight of his tone made the boy flinch. Daniel looked between them, confused. "Dad, please don't be mad. Miss Grace was helping me because I didn't understand the way Mr. Fenton teaches." Alexander's jaw tightened. Mr. Fenton, the private tutor from Oxford, whom he paid nearly 6 figures a year, had been the perfect choice on paper. But clearly his son's grades and his heart told another story. Grace lowered her gaze. "I didn't mean to overstep, sir. Daniel asked me for help, and I help." His tone sharpened. "You're a maid, Grace, not an educator." For a moment, the only sound in the room was Daniel's small, trembling voice. "But Dad, ... She's better than all of them." Grace wanted to explain, to tell him how Daniel had been struggling, how the boy's tutor ignored his questions, how all he needed was patience, but the words caught in her throat, because she knew men like Alexander Wren didn't listen to women like her. Not since the last time she dared to speak up. Once she had been a teacher back home in Georgia, until her husband's death left her drowning in debt. The only job she could find was cleaning houses for those who never looked her in the eye. And now here she was again, accused for caring too much. Alexander turned to leave. "Pack your things after dinner, Grace. You'll get a full month's pay." The boy cried out, "No, Dad, you can't." "She's the only one who enough, Daniel." But that night, sleep wouldn't come. The billionaire lay awake, Daniel's laughter echoing in his head. He'd built empires, negotiated billion-dollar deals, but somehow he couldn't connect with his own son. The next morning, Alexander left early, or at least that's what Grace thought. But he wasn't heading to the office. He was going to Daniel's school. There, in a quiet meeting with the headmaster, he learned the truth. Daniel's performance had plummeted not because of laziness, but because of anxiety. "He's bright," the headmaster had said, "but he needs someone who believes in him, someone like Grace." By the time he returned home, Grace's suitcase was by the door. She looked up at him, weary and resigned. "I'll go quietly, sir." But he surprised her. "No," Alexander said softly. "We'll go nowhere." He stepped closer. "I owe you an apology. I saw what I wanted to see, not what was right in front of me." Grace blinked, uncertain if she'd heard him right. He continued, "You taught my son something no tutor could, not just math, but confidence." His voice broke slightly. "If you're willing, I'd like to offer you a new position. As Daniel's full-time teacher." For a moment she couldn't breathe. Her eyes welled up, the weight of years of invisibility melting into disbelief. Daniel ran in, hugging her tightly. "You mean she can stay?" Alexander smiled faintly. "She can stay." But word of the arrangement spread quickly through the mansion staff. Whispers, disbelief, even quiet admiration. Some called it scandalous. Others, poetic justice. The billionaire's maid, now his son's mentor, and soon enough, a respected voice in his charitable foundation for underprivileged children. It wasn't long before Grace's story inspired others, parents, teachers, and children alike. The woman once overlooked became a beacon of hope for those who were told they didn't belong. Years later, at Daniel's high school graduation, he stood before a cheering crowd and said, "Most kids thank their teachers or their parents. I thank the person who believed in both, the woman who taught me that greatness doesn't come from where you start, but from who stands by you." And in the front row, Grace wept quietly, because kindness doesn't vanish, it waits, and it finds its way back. And in that house where power once spoke louder than empathy, it was kindness that finally won the last word. If you felt something in your heart while listening, make sure to hit that subscribe button, because here, we share stories that remind the world humanity is the greatest wealth of all. Tell me in the comments, do you believe second chances can change everything?